All right, so in this video, we'll be exploring whether or not you can put a Geissele SD3G in an MP5. All right, so obviously, a Geissele AR-15 trigger is not going to fit in a MP5K lower. So what I've done is I've printed a translucent housing that will take, AR-15 triggers. With this translucent lower, we'll be able to see the contact issues that a Geissele trigger has when being used in a lead sporting lower. So I'm going to go ahead and swap these out. All right, so now that we got that on, we'll try to cycle the bolt. As the bolt's coming back, it stops right there. It can't go any further. There's an interference issue with the Geissele triggers and the lead sporting lower, and I will show you what that is. If you can see through the camera, the leg that comes off the bottom of the hammer is making contact with the top of the trigger. It's kind of hard to tell. It looks like there's a gap, but there's not. It's making contact above the trigger pin there. The MP5 bolt carrier compresses the AR-15 hammers a little bit more than AR-15 bolt carrier. So we will see if we can fix this. All right, here's another view of the Geissele trigger making contact with the hammer. There's a bit of an interference there where the bolt isn't able to compress it all the way. All right, so now we have the Geissele trigger mounted into the lead sporting lower, and we have had to modify it to get the MP5 bolt carrier to run on top of the hammer. You can see there with the grease that the top of it has been polished down a little bit, put a little bit of a curve on it, so it kind of more like replicates the top of a normal HK trigger. A little bit of a curve, that way it rides underneath the MP5 bolt carrier all right. So we're going to go out and we're going to test it. All right, 20 rounds each mag. 2 mags. A Geissele trigger in here. It's definitely not as good as what came in the PTR originally, but I'll give it a try.